So what is our theme for this year? Just love. And today's lesson title is Pure Love, Your Invisible Power. And we have a bookmark. If you don't have a bookmark yet, please get one for free in the bookstore. And we're on the book for the month of July and August called the God Solution, The Power of Pure Love. And many of you might recognize the author Neil Donald Walsh, who did the series of Conversations with God. And of course, Conversations with God, those books were great because they were conversational. And this book is no different. It's conversational. So it's an easy book to read. And I'm going to speak a little bit, and again, this is going to be a short lesson because I really wanted to highlight the teens, but I want to always encourage you. I know that Julie is leading an online book club, and April is leading a face-to-face book club, and they're using our books. So if you would like to take some of these concepts deeper and embody them and engage with the community in a more intimate way, I invite you to join one of the book clubs. So the essence of the book is, over time, humanity has sort of warped so many concepts around God that even the word God doesn't appeal to a lot of people. Higher power, universal source. What's fun is the author invites you to create your own religion. And some of you might remember I did a lesson a long time ago that says, find your own name for God. Crystals is fluffy stuff. You want it to be personal. What makes you feel good and soft and connected and loved? Find that word and use that word and substitute it as you hear other people say God or some other concept. You know, we've lost sight of the true essence almost because like our minds have overthought God over all the years. But you have to realize that words get hijacked. The meaning of the word gay is different than 70 years ago. I'm actually doing something called a master class, and we're going to talk more about that in the future, but the master class is sort of like a group of TED Talks from famous folks. So Pharrell Williams, the guy who did I'm Happy, is doing a course on empathy. And Cornel West, one of today's current philosophers, basically was the first one who made me aware of empathy is actually a new term in English. It was actually coined back in 1908, so just a little over 100 years ago. And even the magazine The Atlantic, has an article called The Short History of Empathy. Now, if we didn't have a word in English regarding empathy, then the concepts about that are still new and still changing. Basically, they spoke about empathy. At one point, you can have mental empathy, but do you have emotional empathy? And is that the same as compassionate empathy? So words change, language changes, definitions change, the concepts around particular words change, the times change, and society changes. You know, when the traditional religions launched, there was no K through 6, K through 12, K through 16, nor universities per se. And even over time, universities were unfortunately very selective. Times are changing. We have the internet, which is, anybody remember the World Britannica encyclopedias? My family had them. Well, now you just Google it, right? Or ask Siri. So things continue to change, and hence some religious traditions, there is no wrong path, because any path that leads you back to yourself and understanding the connection with your Creator and who you truly are is a divine path for whoever. Specifically for us, we may feel, I know myself, when I came out to myself in college, I just felt like the Catholic Church, I was not evolving with it anymore. And, playing hide and not being true to myself in who I truly was, I began seeking. And so for some folks, we may be out of sync. And, there is a saying that says we were made in the image and likeness of God, but what humanity actually did was make God like humanity. An anthropomorphic, white old being who judges. That's an old concept. So Neil Donald Walsh, specifically some concepts directly from the book, is deep inside, become clear that every dilemma in your life could also be resolved if enough of us were to decide that God is pure love, that we are pure love, and that all it takes to change individual lives and the world is to demonstrate the pure love that you are. That's simple. He would like to peel away all the other stuff and the judgment and what happened and why, and just get down to here, being pure love. But people believe what they want or need to believe in order to support their previously held view of life, meaning you've all grown up from some kind of concept, maybe or maybe none, of spirituality, and you built your life upon those beliefs and principles. And so in some cases, it's truly a case of don't bother me with the facts, because it would substantially change my life. Nowhere is there greater evidence than having 4,300 religions. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, and whatever spiritual path people choose, good. It's goodness. It is love. So for many, what we know about God, it is only that way. And I have to say, it was, again, born and raised in Catholicism. When I got to college and took classes in religious studies, for me, it was like, so if I was born in a Muslim country, it's not good now if you're a Christian. If you were born in a Christian country, then it's not good that you're following Muslim. How could that be? It's all God. It's all one. We're all humanity. And again, the arrows are pointing to pure love. But our thoughts about God have formed the bedrock of our entire understanding of life. And that is why the God dilemma is no small thing. Everything on earth could change for the better virtually overnight if enough people were made aware of and allowed themselves to be open and embrace new definitions based on what we all know today. Seeing a higher power as self-conscious, self-aware, pure, undifferentiated energy, which manifests in each one of us as a feeling and a calling of pure love. Every human being is the spiritual, physical essence of pure love. In other words, we could not be here. It's not that love is out there. It's like we literally wouldn't be here if there wasn't love. Love is what made life, for me, life as Kathy Fernandes, possible. For you, you are one with the universe. You are one with it all. Your unique expression. Each person can express the energy that they are by consciously engaging in the act of melding human emotions and divine feelings, and then projecting that energy into the world in all the key moments of life. The power of love. It may be invisible, but it is a power. So we like to say that many of the attributes of God, love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, joy, truth. By the way, truth is always revealed sooner or later, so just stick with truth and let it be revealed. You have the power to call on any one of those attributes in your life. If you're feeling like there's disharmony, then you get to choose, I understand oneness and unity, and that's intentionally where I'm going to focus. And just by choosing to focus, you might find a lot more places where there is unity instead of disunity. It's through your consciousness. Where you focus, the energy goes. So Neil Donald Walsh is inviting us to sort of strip away all the noise about God. Make your own religion. I know some people would think that's blasphemous. A higher power exists, an energy that can be physically felt, pure love, not limited to human love. It's who you are and what you choose to express. All right, all of that was a bunch of words. Now I have some questions for you. What gets you to the feeling of love? The feeling of it. What activities, what things, what events bring you to the feeling of love? Giving. There's something in the giving that you can feel that love. So when you give to somebody and that somebody especially accepts, but just giving the love that you are. Hugging. Connecting with somebody physically and feeling that essence of the person who loves you, sees you, connects with you. More hugging needs to happen. Of course, we have been in COVID, right? So even more so. What else calls you to love? Playfulness. When you feel the playfulness, the lightness, the fun, the joy. Looking at your puppy, your fur family. Do they know unconditional love or what? Yes, there is an intelligence living as our fur family, and that exchange and that connection is amazing. Eating dinner with your family and game night. Again, connection. Being seen, being heard. Exchanging the love in the conversations and the love in the room when you're eating and playing. Being still. I know for many of us, meditation may be a challenge, but if you practice, you can get to a point where you can know more deeply in yourself the well of love, of peace, of joy. But it does mean making a priority to spend time with yourself in silence and allow your brain to chatter, but to keep bringing yourself back to your beingness that is there, that is aware and conscious. What else? Nature. Yes. That's also a beautiful place to meditate, right? Because nature has a natural, we did forest therapy and we will continue to do it again, but connecting with nature doesn't need words to ooze love, does it? And the more you can meditate in nature, the more it speaks to you about truth without all this noise on TV or wherever. Breathing. Excellent. The fact that you can make that connection is beautiful. Just breathing, just being can bring a sense of love. Again, that's a practice. If you don't get it right out of the gate, it's a practice. Begins with the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Laughing. There is something about giggling that just tickles you. Love that. Gratitude. Appreciating. Not taking for granted. Not just looking at it all and moving on, but really taking in. Helping others. Again, that connection. that opportunity to offer the love that you are. Grateful that you do that. Listening. So really hearing and not being prepared to just talk back to somebody, but just being able to be present and listen. Very important to this spiritual community, very important to the practitioners. That's a key aspect of what the practitioners will do. If you ask for a practitioner session, practitioners have been trained in our philosophy, and one of the key aspects is just to listen and to see you. Music. Excellent. I'm going to end with a piece regarding music, so stay tuned. Anything else based on what's bubbling in the room? The decision to be love, to be conscious, and to choose it not just once and then forget, but to choose it in every day, in every moment. The decision to be love. Beautiful. You got some ideas of what you might take away from today? To be pure love? Now, in the science of mind, we say that God is both personal and impersonal. We say personal because the way you love somebody is different than the way you might love a tree or an object or whatever the case may be. So it's important that God feels personal. And I know that when things happen for me that to somebody who doesn't have faith is just synergistic, but for me is an affirmation of the Spirit that is with me and watching over me and supporting me. When those certain things happen, it's an affirmation, and I feel personally connected to that Spirit. That love is personal. And on the other hand, we say that God is impersonal because we want to get away from the idea that there's this anthropomorphic being that's judging us. There is no judgment happening. Things are what they are. It's what we think about it that is our judgment. And we say that Spirit is impersonal because there are laws. If you lie a lot, probably a lot of people are going to lie to you, and you can't you're not really building trust, and then you're probably losing relationships. I mean, that's just one example. But we say impersonal in that if you understand how spiritual principles and spiritual laws work, you understand that it's not God saying you're going to be punished. Instead, it's you're not using the law, the physical laws, the spiritual laws, the way they were meant to be used. And when you can align your beingness and your thinkingness with the truth, more of life unfolds in front of you. Life expands, more freedom, more understanding, more pieces come together for you because you're not going against, like if I'm bouncing a basketball and I bounce it really hard, what do you all know is going to happen? Woo! When you know spiritual principles, like you just know that gravity principle, then you are in the flow of life. And it's not about punishment. It's about the fact that you are in alignment with the spiritual laws of the universe. All right, so I got to wrap it up. The way I'm wrapping this up is, for those of you that are on YouTube, I'm going to be playing a song that is on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like it when you're streaming YouTube. So I will tell you what the song is in a second, and then after we do the song, we'll do the offertory and the closing. So I'm letting our YouTube friends know because they might have to steer themselves. We will not be live streaming the actual song. They might have to steer themselves to this actual song. If you look up Whitney Houston plus Kygo, Kygo, there is a version of this song that I would like Scarlett to play. I would like all of you to close your eyes so you're not concerned about, you're not distracted by others or worried about what others are seeing or feeling. But I'm hoping that you continue to allow this song to move you. So feel free to stand up, move about, do what you need to do to allow for a higher love.